chickadees. How are we? I hope you're all bundled up. I hope everyone is safe. I hope you got to spend a lot of downtime, maybe binge watch some things over the weekend with all of the snowmageddon weather that we have seen. I stayed inside. I don't like the cold. It was way too cold for me. Ridiculous. And today, oh my goodness, the blue dress, gold dress trial. Well, that's what I call the Brendan Banfield, the au pair trial. We got a verdict. Verdict guilty on all counts. I can't say I'm surprised by that. And I have a really big struggle with this case because I can't figure out what actually happened. And that's a problem for me. A really big problem for me. Let me say hello to some of you that are in the chat. Good evening, Kelly. Thank you for joining us. And KS Granny is here with us this evening. Oh, Christine, thank you for coming back. Melissa. Oh, Ninja Fia. I hope I said that right. From Sweden, all the way from Sweden. Oh my goodness. Are you having a sleepless night? Because she says, Ninja Fia says, hello from Sweden. Glad to find your channel. You make me smile and keep me company in my sleepless nights. I think that's 1:00 at night in Sweden. Yay, happy to see you. Well, I am sorry that you're having a sleepless night. That's miserable. Try to do some deep breathing, but if that doesn't work, then by all means, you can hang out with us. Hi, Gina. Thanks for joining us this evening. And another Gina is back with us this evening. Thank you for coming on back. Jennifer is with us. Oh, Felicia, thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, so yeah, we had the blue dress, gold dress trial. Hey, Factual Lie, thanks for the replay. Totally understand. And I would love for someone to sit down and explain to me what the actual theory is as to what happened in that case. I need to know. I want to know who stabbed whom and who did the shooting of the gun. Did they both do the shooting of the gun? I have a lot of questions about it. I don't like that. Y'all don't understand. This is going to keep me up at night. I don't like not knowing. So there's that happened today. And today is also a very, very special day in the Demeanor household. My little girl, Vivica, she turns 10 today. Today is her birthday. So she's not in here with me. She's out in the rest of the house with Mr. Demeanor this evening, getting lots of rubs from him because I would not be able to do that. And she's a little greedy about that. I think so too, Gina. But then there's a part of me that I'm like, so who did the stabbing? I don't understand the DNA. The DNA does not make sense to me. Oh, and yes, it's Happy Groundhog's Day too. Yes. Yeah, I have so many questions about that particular trial. And I have tried to get an update on Dale Warner's trial in Michigan. There was nothing that I could find an update, not even the person that I know is in the courtroom and kind of giving daily updates. Nothing. Crickets today. But I did get confirmation from Kathy Russin. They will be live streaming it. So there's that for us to look forward to. And what else can I tell you about anything going on today? I think that's probably it. Again, happy Monday to you. If you have not become a member, you can. You can also just subscribe if you haven't done that. Make sure you do the YouTube things like subscribe, put your notifications on, share with your friends. And it's probably time for us to get into the Kouri Richins of it all. So if you didn't follow the live stream I did last week where we started the deep dive into the Kouri Richins case, you probably want to go back and do that because we're going to pick up right where we left off. There's one document I'm going to go back to because I couldn't find it while I was live streaming. It was very weird. I have since found it. So we're going to go over that document first, and we'll continue through all of the evidence and little Miss Kouri Richins. Quick little synopsis if you don't know anything at all about this. Kouri Richins will be going to trial. Actually, I believe her jury selection was starting today. And that's, I think, the trial is supposed to start on the 10th. If memory serves me, I don't have my calendar flipped in here. So, I have to go back here. Yeah. Trial's supposed to start on the 10th. And so, she is being charged with murder along with a lot of other financial crimes that I'm sure will come up in the course of documents and probably in the trial itself. She poisoned her husband in a Moscow Mule with fentanyl. And it is believed she did it because there were so many financial issues that were all kind of crashing down on her at one time. And she had a lot of life insurance on him. So that is where we are. What I'm going to pick up on right now, this is a search warrant that is for a phone. And it is for someone with the initials KLS. I don't think I know who that is. If you in the chat have an idea, by all means, spill the beans. But we're going to go through here. This is a search warrant for that individual. They are only known as KLS. Oh, KS Granny, my Vivica, my little four-legged furry friend. She is celebrating her 10th birthday today. She's now in double digits. You would never know it. We have a 6-year-old dog also, Oscar, and she insists on playing. She will sit next to him. She barks constantly because she needs me to get on the floor and play with her. She does not act like a 10-year-old dog at all. So that is whose birthday it is today. Okay, these are the certifications for the individual that took the affidavit for the search warrant. Here's the synopsis. On March 4th, 2022 at 3:22 hours, Summit County Dispatch received a 911 call from a female party later identified as Kouri Richins about an unresponsive male. The male was Eric Richins, Kouri's husband. Deputies and EMS staff responded to the residence to attempt life-saving measures. Life-saving measures failed and Eric Richins was declared deceased. Deputies held the scene and requested the medical examiner's office as well as detectives from Summit County Sheriff's Office respond to the scene. While waiting for detectives and the ME investigator, Deputy Nguyen conducted an initial interview with Kouri Richins. Kouri stated she, Eric, and Kouri's mother, Lisa Darden, had been celebrating Kouri closing on a house for her business the night before around 2100 hours. Kouri stated they had a drink to celebrate. Kouri stated Eric then went to bed. Kouri stated she went in to sleep with one of their children due to the fact that the child has night terrors. Kouri stated she woke up around 3 o'clock and came back to her in Eric's bedroom. Kouri stated at that time she felt Eric and he was cold to the touch. That is when she called 911. After determining that Eric's death was not likely due to natural causes, his body was transported to the medical examiner's office to perform an autopsy. I just want to interject here. The cold to the touch thing, I don't remember that. I know we talked about it last week, but I don't remember that actually. I don't remember knowing that before us talking about it last week, I guess is the best way to put that. So I'm still kind of like, wow, cold to the touch. He'd been dead for a while. Anywho, after approximately 3 weeks, toxicology findings from the autopsy were available. It was determined that Eric died from an overdose of fentanyl. When speaking to the medical examiner's office, the doctor indicated the level of fentanyl in Eric Richins was approximately 5 times the lethal dosage. The medical examiner stated the fentanyl was illicit fentanyl and not medical grade. It was also the opinion of the medical examiner doctor that the fentanyl had been ingested orally due to the gastric fluid contents. After receiving the information regarding the toxicology, a search warrant was obtained for Eric and Kouri's residence. During the service of that search warrant, Kouri's phone as well as several computers were seized as evidence. Warrants were obtained for all the electronic devices, and the information from those devices was downloaded in order to be investigated. When investigators went through the information from Kouri's phone, it appeared several text messages around the time frame from March 1st through March 15th had been deleted. The time surrounding Eric's death. Several communications between Kouri and, this is actually Carmen Lauber. I happen to know that. We'll get to it with some other documents. The C and the L, it tells me it's Carmen Lauber. Through the course of the investigation, detectives began to investigate individuals close to both Kouri and Eric Richins. During that time, Carmen Lauber was identified as being a housekeeper often used by Kouri for her residential real estate business. A police records check of Carmen Lauber revealed multiple counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Lauber also had charges of theft, DUI, burglary, and aggravated assault. Due to the fact the fentanyl discovered in Eric Richins was illicit fentanyl, it seemed plausible that Lauber was the source for the fentanyl. While conducting an investigation into Lauber, Dominic Nick, Bonsavage was identified as an associate of Lauber. I believe that's N in the B is Nick Bonsavage has a chemistry. Now we're going to reject his name? Seriously? Okay. Nick Bonsavage has a chemistry degree and had been previously charged at Heber City with clandestine lab charges for operating a methamphetamine lab. It was also learned that Bonsavage has a boyfriend. Oh, maybe this isn't. It could be. Who do I know? What do I know? A boyfriend named GJ, who is currently incarcerated at the Utah State Prison in Gunnison. After learning this information, detectives spoke to staff at the Utah State Prison and requested phone calls GJ had made from March 1st through March 15th. During one phone call between G and Nick, I'm going to say on March 2nd, 2022, Nick answers the phone and states he is on a break from drug court. It was verified through court records that Carmen and Dominic Bunsavage were in drug court together at that time. At 2:32 into the call, G says, "Tell Carmen I said hi." A female can then be heard in the background saying, "Hi, honey." G then responds by saying, "Hi, Carmen." On 3/3/22, G called phone number. Oh my goodness, we just put the phone number in here. That is one of the phone numbers investigators identified as belonging to Carmen Lauber. G starts the call by saying, "Good morning, Carmen." The remainder of the call is discussing a possible mutual acquaintance G knows in prison. On 3/4/22, G makes a phone call to Nick. During that phone call, G and Nick are discussing purchasing an Xbox controller for G while he is in prison. Nick makes the comment he would pay for the controller. G then responds by saying, "You or Carmen, one of the two." Nick then responds by saying, "I tried giving that bitch $100 yesterday and say, 'Hey, let me pay you back. I'm paying you back.' She's all, 'What the fuck? No, you keep it. I just made $1,000 selling fucking fentanyl,' or some shit like that." That call between G and Nick occurred the same day Eric Richins died. Oh, 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 interesting. On 3/26/23, detectives served a search warrant on Carmen Lauber's residence. During the search, a cell phone was recovered from Lauber's bedroom. A separate warrant was obtained to examine the phone's contents, and it was found to be a phone used by Lauber up until the end of March 2022, the month Eric Richins died. Further examination of its contents revealed a text message thread between Carmen and her daughter, KL, on 3/7/22. The messages are as follows. Oh boy, I haven't seen this. Carmen, guess who passed away? K, who? Carmen, don't say anything, KK. K, who? Carmen, Kouri's hubby, Eric. K, she poisoned him? K, LOL. K again, she's rich now. Oh my. Oh, Kouri. Oh, Kouri. Carmen, no, she didn't, or did she? And then she sent a gif of a female winking and nodding. Carmen then says a brain aneurysm, FR for real. And then Kay says, "I ain't even mad at it. Good for her." Oh my goodness. Oh, this is making my heart go a little flitter. I didn't realize we had this kind of evidence. Summit County detectives are aware that Kay has a history of drug trafficking and is currently on federal probation for drug offenses based on the content and context of the messages. It is believed that KL had previous information or discussions concerning Kouri Richins poisoning her husband. Due to the fact that the above messages were located on Lauber's phone, a search warrant is being sought for the seizure of Kay and Carmen Lauber's cell phone to determine what knowledge or involvement she had in the death of Eric Richins. Wow. Okay, let's keep going. There's more. They asked for the warrant to be sealed while the investigation is ongoing. Yeah, right. I think this is great tea too. Exactly. Whoa. Uh-huh. So, yeah, Kouri might be able to control her mouth, but the people that she's associating with, maybe not so much. Let's see. We are going to continue down here. And I'm trying to find where it's going to have more information from us. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Nope. I guess that's it. All righty. So that's what I forgot to show you all last week. because this was still before Kouri was arrested, before the walk the dog letter. And speaking of Kouri being arrested, and I've got another search warrant here. I am going to see if I'm just glancing here because it looks like it may be a lot of the same information I just read in this particular search warrant. So, okay, yeah, we've got more tea, y'all. Let me get it pulled up. Oh, I'm excited. There's more tea. Oh, y'all. Oh, let me make it so I can read it. My old lady eyes. I think I do 225 best. Okay. So I read up to this point of the call between the two, and we really have a hard time figuring out in this one. We know it was between Carmen and someone else. And so this is going to be what happens after. On 3/27, and by the way, this is in the search warrant for Kouri. On 3/27/23, blank or redacted was arrested on misdemeanor traffic offenses and booked into the redacted. On 5/2/2023, myself and other detectives interviewed redacted while she was in custody. Post Miranda warning, redacted admitted to, so this is Carmen, admitted to supplying Kouri Richins with 15 to 30 fentanyl pills on 2 separate occasions, approximately 1 month before Eric's death. She stated Kouri paid her approximately $900 each time she supplied the pills. She provided details of the solicitation of the drugs, the pickup and drop-off locations, and other pertinent details that has been corroborated with digital forensic evidence. And in case you didn't pick up on that, it's corroborated. See the double R's there for corroborated. Just making sure everyone's getting a little grammar in today. In investigating Kouri Richins' associates, it was discovered that in 2006, Richins' mother, Lisa Darden, was living with an adult female with whom she was having a romantic relationship. Oh, didn't see that coming either. In April of that year, her romantic partner died unexpectedly. Oh. An autopsy report of the female partner showed that her immediate cause of death was a drug poisoning from an overdose of oxycodone. Shut the front door. Oh, these women in this family. Further investigation showed that Lisa Darden had been named as the beneficiary of her partner's estate a short time before her death. Of course she was. Of course she was. The female did have current prescriptions for oxycodone and reportedly struggled with abusing her meds. She, however, was not in a state of recovery from addiction at the time of her death. Based on my training and experience, this would likely rule out the possibility of an accidental overdose. Yeah. So here's something interesting. I don't know if you all are aware of this or not. And I think that's what they're alluding to in this particular dialogue, that when an individual is a recovering addict and then all of a sudden they start to use again, that's the best or most likely time for them to overdose, because they're used to the threshold that they had when they were using before they were in recovery. And then now they've kept themselves clean for a period of time and they try to go back to that same dose. And that's when the accidental overdose ends up happening. The body just can't process it and can't get through. So that's what they're referring to in this little snippet here. In reviewing, hey, Peppermint PJ, in reviewing forensic downloads of Kouri Richins' phone, it is clear she is very close with her mother and communicates with her almost daily, both for personal matters and in her business dealings. Conversations have been found on Kouri's phone showing disdain for Eric on Lisa's part. Oh. Based on Lisa Darden's proximity to her partner's suspicious overdose death and her relationship with Kouri, it is possible she was involved in planning and orchestrating Eric's death. Oh. Oh. On 5/8/2023, detectives served a search warrant on Lisa Darden's house. A blue Samsung cell phone was recovered and identified as Lisa's current cell phone. I am applying for a warrant to search the digital contents of that phone. Oh boy. Let's see if there's anything else here, y'all. Let's keep on scrolling. So this shows what they were looking for: call history, GPS location, all your normal stuff, social media, internet history, text messages, all the stuff. Okay, that is the end of that one. Let me consult my notes to find out what we're going to be looking at next. What is next? I did the search warrant. We've already done the walk the dog letter. Oh, we need to look at Kouri's internet searches, because they, in their search warrant, they obviously seized her phone and her electronics. And so let's take a little peek at little Miss Kouri's internet searches. How about that? Oh, shoot. Let's try that again. And I am going to try to make this a little bigger. The most important thing, I'm guessing, I'm going to make it smaller, because the way these are listed on the screen, just to give you all a reference, is what's on the right-hand side of the screen in the bold letters is the result of the highlighted search that is showing the blue highlighted search item. Yeah, we think there's a possibility. Well, the authorities thought there was a possibility, Gina, that the mom was involved. And so they seized her her cell phone anyway. And exactly, Kelly, I don't know that mom was involved, other than I would bet that mom probably had conversation, but maybe not involved necessarily. Okay, so the first googly that we have here is Utah State Prison, Timpanogos Women's Facility, Utah inmate roster. Now, this was searched on April 16th at 4:29 p.m., but I'm seeing here it says UTC time. So I happen to know that should be -5. So this was probably around 11:30 in the morning. And then we go down here. Oh, Kouri, what have you done now? What happens to deleted messages? This was a search that was completed on April 18th, 2022 at 10:06 p.m. So -5 would be about 5 o'clock in the evening. Police can't read your iMessages, but here's what they can see. Kouri was busy. This search was done also on April 18th, 2022 at 5:11 p.m. On April 24th, so 6 days later, because those searches were on the 18th, 6 days later at 5:30 in the afternoon, she searches 5 things you need to know about the new Utah State Prison and when the old one will be torn down. Wanting to visit someone there, are you, Kouri? And then earlier on April 28th, 2022, so this would have been around 2:30 in the afternoon, delay in claim payment for death certificate with pending cause of death. Which, okay, not so unusual. In and of itself, it's not unusual. But when you couple it with the deleted messages and how the police can see iMessages, that looks so swift. The next one is at also on April 28th. This would have been 2:30 in the afternoon. Cause of death usually does not impact life insurance payment. Oh, girl. Okay. Oh, boy. Yes, iMessage is a free, secure, and encrypted instant messaging service developed by Apple for its ecosystem, including iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Apple Watch. It sends messages via Wi-Fi or cellular data. Absolutely correct, Kelly. So, yeah, for reference, so that's why she was asking what the police can see with iMessages. Yeah. Oh, Kouri. Peppermint PJ. She is so dumb. So moving on. May 10th at 1:17 in the afternoon, FBI conducted potentially millions of searches of Americans' data last year. Yikes. You scared, Kouri? You should be. Also on May 10th at around, a minute later, how do police and forensic analysts recover deleted data from phones? Oh, like this, Kouri, like this right here. That's how they do it. The irony. Oh, boy. And let's see. On June 9th, 2022, at about 1:30 in the afternoon, is circumstance unknown an accident? Interesting. And later that same day, one pill can kill, understanding the risks of fentanyl. 4 days later, on June 13th, oh boy, she's got a little house long to die situation here. Because it says, how long does life insurance companies taken to .pay? Oh, and insurance is missing the U in it also. I don't know if I can make this larger for y'all. Let's try something. Nope, that's not it. A little bit bigger. Let me try putting myself over here. I don't know that made anything better for y'all. So, on July 18th, she Googles 2 arrested after teenager overdoses on fentanyl-laced marijuana in what police call dangerous local trend. Weird. Some of these are very odd. That was on the 18th of July, and on the 28th of July now, she is searching the story behind Midway's unfinished mansion. We remember the mansion. Does everybody remember the mansion from last week? If you haven't seen the mansion from last week, you need to go watch my live stream. We tour it, like if it were finished, what it would look like. So that was July 28th, 2022. Next one is August 1st, 2022. How to hire someone to write a book for you. We know what this is in reference to. Oh, Kouri. 16 days later, August 17th, she searches, how does the FBI work a case? Same day, signs of being under federal investigation. You want to know what the first sign is, y'all, that you're under federal investigation? You're searching whether you're under federal investigation. What in the world? Ay, ay, ay. Oh, lady. And then she was kind of quiet for a while. That was August 17th. The next search is on February 13th. So this would have been February 13th, 2023. This would have been 1 year after what we all believe was her first attempt at trying to kill Eric, because it was Valentine's Day, if I remember correctly. And this one is Detective Jamie Woody relationship to Richins. That's interesting. Same day, Jamie Nora Woody's Utah voter registration. Interesting. Same day, Circle R Ranch, Summit County, Utah. Interesting. I don't know who belongs to Circle R. Maybe it will become apparent. Same day again, Circle R Ranch donates money, Summit County. And then she's quiet again. That is February. And then the next we have is in May. And in May, this is a phone number that she is searching, and it says something O'Driscoll living in someplace, Utah, contact details. So that's a phone number that she Googled. And I'm guessing this is a blow up of, I'm going to make it a little bigger so maybe y'all can see it. Tennessee ranches for sale. Can you delete everything on an iCloud? Oh, Kouri. Oh, Kouri. Can you delete everything on an iCloud account? Can you delete everything off an old iPhone without actually having it? Oh. Can deleted text messages be retrieved? Ma'am. They can. Log into iCloud. Can you chance the password remotely of a lost cell phone? Can deleted text messages be retrieved from an iPhone? Oh boy, she was in a flat panic at this point. That's what this is telling me. Oh boy. Ranches for sale, 100 acres under $1 million, Nashville, Tennessee. Ranches for sale. Log into iCloud account. Lakefront ranches. What do cops when the seize electronics? What information can be obtained? What information can obtained from a cell phone? Is the Detective O'Driscoll? That would make sense to me. Oh, yes, she tried twice. Yes, Jennifer. The first time was on Valentine's Day, and as Kelly said, with the Renchler's ham sandwich. And he told all of his friends after eating that he thought she had tried to poison him. Unbelievable. Moving on. Yes, she is a dumb dirtbag. Utah prison, Utah prison, Summit County District Attorney. Can cops uncover deleted messages? iPhone. How to lock my iCloud. What does lock lost iPhone actually do? Summit County District Court. How to find my iPhone off. How to completely wipe an iPhone clear remotely. Right? Oh, Gina says, wow, I hope she is drinking when typing this. It is worse than me on my phone, thinking I'm hitting the right letters, but in fact, not. I mean, yeah, this is pretty bad. Like, I am no good at it because I'm old, but I go back and correct it at least to try to get the right search results. Good grief. How to erase a phone data permanently with EMI number, how to permanently delete, permanently delete information from an iPhone, how to permanently delete information from an iPhone remotely. Is 21 days a law rule? Someone has to respond to, oh, I got to make this smaller so I can read this, y'all. Bear with me. Is 21 days a law rule? Someone has to respond to a court complaint in Utah. I bet that was in reference to the sister-in-law. Can cops force you to do a lie detector test? Wow. What happens if you are detained but never got read? Marianda writes, can probable cause be a testimony? Oh my word, Kouri, stop yourself. Jennifer says, she should have searched how to fix my marriage or why am I a flaming narcissist? Exactly. She didn't learn this one. What are you allowed inside Utah jails? You can't have Crest white strips. Phone Doc Park City. CUNA mutual policy on life insurance cause of death. Will life insurance pay if death certificate says pending? Death certificate says pending. Will the life insurance still pay? Sweet niblets, this woman. Federal Correctional Institution in Dublin, California? What? What does the rest of this say? That's all it says. Luxury prisons for the rich in America. Oh, ma'am. Does she think that she'll be able to get into a luxury prison just because she has a certain net worth? Oh, boy. If someone, I got to make sure if someone is poisoned, what does it go down on the death certificate as? I wish I knew, Kelly, what the luxury prison search turn up. They're not giving me in this document. They're not giving me that anymore. What is presumptive positive for naloxone? Is naloxone, and I might be saying that wrong, naloxone, similar to heroin. What is presumptive positive? Can you overdose on naltrexone nor fentanyl? You know, we could ask Kouri now how luxurious that prison is, the one that she's in right now anyway. Where is my location on iPhone? What? I don't even know what this says, y'all. This is like, what precursion is used to what prescription is used to stop alcoholics? Is that what she was trying to how did Google even know what she wanted to know about? Googly is probably sitting there going, ma'am, we don't know what you want. You're going to have to be clearer. Kouri Richins Realty net worth, and then Kouri Richins, commas, net worth. FBI analysis of electronics in an investigation. What is FBI analysis of electronics? How to delete Facebook. Ma'am, even I know how to do that one. Find my iPhone is off. Is location still correct? Can find my iPhone work if off? Is find my iPhone ever wrong? Can FBI find deleted messages? And then we have pool plastering in the middle of this. What does FBI do with electronics for searches? FBI searching electronics. Pool tiling guys again. FBI searching electronics. Lorazepam. Oh, and then Jason Aldean. Oh, no shade to Jason. What is considered non-natural manner of death? Who determines cause of death on death certificate? Can the cause of death be changed on a death certificate? Let me make sure there's nothing more there. There isn't. What is a white collar crime? Are we for real right now? Is this chick that ditzy that she doesn't know what a white collar crime is? Why would the FBI be involved? Is the medical examiner report and autopsy report different? What? When does the FBI get involved in a case? How to find an author to write a book on you? All right. I need a moment here. She is searching all of this bovine scatology, and she, in the middle of it, Googlies how to find an author to write a book on you. Oh, Kouri. Oh, Kouri. Oh boy, fentanyl found in marijuana gummies. Oh, that's the angle she was trying to work toward, I see. How long does life insurance companies take in to pay? What is a lethal dose of fentanyl? Well, you did it, girl. You hit the nail on the head with that one. You got it. What is considered a lethal dose of fentanyl? Can a manner of death be changed on a death certificate? Change my passcode on iPhone. Exactly. The random searches in between, it is weird. She's absolutely full of herself. And how to get the FBI to throw the book at Kouri. That's the book. Okay, what else we have? Circle R Ranch donates land Summit County. Circle R Ranch. This is all the Jamie Nora Woody. I wish this particular list had the timestamps on it. There was a lot about these donating of money, and did Sheldon Richins donate monetarily to Park Cody? This woman, this is beyond just bad typing, y'all. She's making me angry. How to find out if a family donated money to a police department. Richins family donate to Summit County Police Department. Money donations made to Summit County Police Department. How to find out if a family donated to a police department. Are donations to the police force public? Oh, police force public. What is required for a defamation lawsuit? Oh, Kouri, you are an endless fountain of entertainment. Sheldon Richins donations to Park Cody, which I think is Park City. What happens if you give Narcan to someone who doesn't need it? What? Is circumstance unknown an accident? How long does life insurance companies taken to pay? More donations. This is all about donations. She was hot and bothered by where the money was going from the Richins family. And Circle R Ranch, I'm guessing that has to be something that the Richins family owns. And then we, of course, have the phone number that she Googled. And that's the end of the internet searches. Well, that was enlightening. Wow. Just wow. Okay, so I'm trying to keep this going in some semblance of chronological order. So the next thing I have, if I'm due chronological order, is there was a motion to dismiss due to prosecutorial misconduct. This was back in September of 2023. Let me get to that, and we'll start diving into that part. I just need to find it here. Here we are. And I will pop it on the screen for everybody. Was she considering trying to say the police were corrupt because the family donated money to them and they framed her? I am guessing that is what her attempt was with that. I don't think it was a good attempt. But I believe that's kind of what it looks like to me, that she was angling for an additional angle. All right. So this is a motion to dismiss due to prosecutorial misconduct. Let's see what this says. This is a big, long document. So I just want to check quickly here, make sure I didn't skip something. Okay. Table of authorities. Let's get to the beans and meat of this bad boy. I'm going to see if I can go just a little bit. There we go. Relief requested. Defendant seeks an order dismissing all charges against her because the state has engaged in prosecutorial misconduct such that a fair trial in this case is no longer possible. Alternatively, the court should enter an order that disqualifies the Summit County Attorney's Office, changes venue from Summit County to Salt Lake County, suppresses all evidence related to the walk the dog didn't like the walk the dog letter, and provides for a jury instruction to preclude consideration of the state's false claim that Ms. Richins had engaged in witness tampering. The state's motion for gag order on May 31st, 2023, the state filed a motion for gag order, which asked the court for the imposition of a gag order in response to the unanticipated and overwhelming media interest in this case. Really? She went on TV and she wrote a children's book. Was it really unanticipated? Anywho, the state argued the relief was necessary to protect Ms. Richins' right to a fair trial in a court of law, not in the court of public opinion, and highlights the importance of avoiding pretrial tainting of the jury pool. This case should be tried in a court of law on the basis of relevant and admissible evidence, not in the court of public opinion on the basis of uninformed or inaccurate sensation, rumor, and hearsay. See, that is what we aren't doing here. Sensation, rumor, or hearsay. We're reading the court documents. That is not a spicy footnote, so I am skipping it. In this case, observation of the defendant's presumption of innocence and protection against pretrial tainting of the jury pool should be paramount. I know. That's exactly my point. She went on TV with a ghostwritten children's book. She has no shame. The state also acknowledged that the circumstances of this case, particularly as it relates to media coverage from global media outlets, dramatically increases the risk of tainting the jury pool. The Summit County Attorney's Office has been contacted by numerous global media outlets, including in alphabetical order and among others, and there's a long list. At least 4 filmmaking organizations on this continent and in Western Europe have expressed their intent to produce a documentary, and it has documentary in quotes. A quick Googly search reveals that exponentially more media outlets have already reported on this matter. In addition to the outlets listed above, these include but are not limited to, and then there is another list. On June 2nd, 2023, in response to the state's motion for gag order, the court entered an order that, inter alia, requires compliance with Rule 3.6 of the Utah Rules of Professional Conduct. Among other things, the gag order prohibits the lawyers in this case from making any extrajudicial statement that the lawyer knows or reasonably should know will be disseminated by means of public communication and will have a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing an adjudicative proceeding in the matter. Sorry, I had to sound that one out right phonetically in front of all of you. On September 15th, 2023, the state publicly accuses Ms. Richins of witness tampering while admitting it has no evidence that such a crime occurred. Sorry, lots of talking, gotta hydrate. On September 15th, 2023, the state filed a document titled Walk the Dog Letter on the public docket in this case. The state did not file the Walk the Dog letter pursuant to any rule of civil procedure or rule of criminal procedure. Along with the Walk the Dog letter, the state also filed a police report on the public docket in this case. Police reports are not admissible evidence. And they cite law stating police reports lack the necessary earmarks of reliability and trustworthiness and are therefore inadmissible, and cites lots of legal cases here. The police report describes the search of Ms. Richins' cell, the discovery of the Walk the Dog letter, and the comments of the Walk the Dog letter. I love how they call it WTD. Back in my lending days, a WTD was we turned down. So someone that applied for a loan and we denied it, it would be a WTD. However, the WTD Walk the Dog letter does not appear to have any crease marks that would indicate the letter was ever folded. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed something. My bad. I'll go back. The police report states the Walk the Dog letter was folded and placed in the middle of a book located in Ms. Richins' cell. However, the Walk the Dog letter does not appear to have any crease marks that would indicate the letter was ever folded. The police report also omits a critical fact, namely that the Walk the Dog letter was physically bound to notes from Ms. Richins to her counsel. This was not communicated to defense counsel until October 2nd, 2023, when defense counsel specifically asked about the notes during a Zoom conference with counsel for the state. In an email following the Zoom conference, the state confirmed the notes had the word sky at the top and were bound with glue as if ripped from a notebook or legal pad to the 6-page Walk the Dog letter. Rather than finding the Walk the Dog letter hidden inside a book, the state apparently obtained the Walk the Dog letter through a potentially illegal search of Ms. Richins' documents, which were stored in an envelope titled Sky Lazaro, Attorney Privilege. The Summit County Sheriff's Office Custody Manual includes clear limitations on the search of legal documents. The manual provides that legal pouches may only be inspected to determine whether the pouch is being used to hide contraband. In addition to the Walk the Dog letter, well, they would have been looking for contraband because she wanted her stinking Crest white strips. In addition to the Walk the Dog letter, the state also filed a motion for no contact on September 15th, 2023. The opening sentence of the motion states a no contact order is necessary to prevent defendant from further engaging in witness tampering. The state has never charged Ms. Richins with witness tampering, much less convicted her of such a crime. In its motion, the state admits it is currently unclear whether Ms. Richins ever disclosed the Walk the Dog letter or its contents to Lisa Darden or anyone else. The state's motion also references yet another letter that defendant held up during a video conference with her mother. However, the state admits it does not know the contents of the September 13th letter, stating the letter was not found inside the defendant's cell. The state claims there is a strong inference the September 13th letter was destroyed or flushed. However, the state offers no actual evidence to support its allegation that the September 13th letter was destroyed or flushed. Media coverage of the Walk the Dog letter and motion for no contact. Within minutes of the state filing the Walk the Dog letter and motion for no contact, defense counsel began receiving requests for comment from media outlets. By September 18th, 2023, countless media outlets had already reported on the Walk the Dog letter and were parroting the state's claims of witness tampering and attempts to compel false testimony. I mean, are we really going out on a limb based on what we read in the Walk the Dog letter? Y'all let me know in the chat. I don't think that we're unreasonable in thinking that she was trying to tamper with some witnesses. I mean, it sounded pretty clear to me. Okay. The local and global media outlets that covered the alleged witness tampering include, but are not limited to, and there is a long list. I am not going to read those. The court can dismiss criminal charges when prosecutorial misconduct results in a denial of due process. Rule 25 of the Utah Rules of Criminal Procedure permits the court to dismiss charges against a criminal defendant for substantial cause and in furtherance of justice. Dismissal is warranted when prosecutorial misconduct results in a denial of due process. The relevant question is whether the misconduct so infected the trial with unfairness as to make the resulting conviction a denial of due process. She is trying to get this dismissed because she's still trying to get the venue changed. Jennifer, the Walk the Dog letter appeared to be written to mom, to Lisa Darden. That's what it appeared to me anyway. Correct. Yeah. She had her former, Sky is the former attorney, her former attorney. To constitute a due process violation, the misconduct must be of sufficient significance. Let me try that again. Must be of sufficient significance to result in the denial of the defendant's right to a fair trial. Reversing conviction where during trial, the prosecutor filed a motion describing the defendant's breaches, conversion, kickbacks, embezzlements, and other violations of law. This is citing law. I'm skipping all of the citing of law. If y'all want to read that, feel free. It's out on Discord. The theaters, I'm trying to get to the crux of, and not just all the legal mumbo jumbo of what they are considering. So let me continue. Continues to state the same thing. It's the Walk the Dog letter was filed not under seal or something to that effect. I'm guessing they wanted it under seal. And then it talks about their ethical duty. This is 52 pages long. That's why I'm skimming through. I am not going to read all of the legal mumbo jumbo to this. I want to know what the facts are. What are they alleging? This is a lot of words to say. We wish you hadn't handled the Walk the Dog letter the way that you did. That's what I'm getting out of this. Literally all about witness tampering. This is insanity. All about the walk the dog letter. Are we for real here? I'm only on page 15. And this talks about the risk of prejudice. Unbelievable. Talks again about how this is very repetitious. Misconduct violates her right to a fair trial. Oh, and then we cite more law. Is it just me, or does it seem like they're repeating themselves? The state's false claims of guilt, supported by inadmissible evidence filed on the public docket. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of words that I don't find necessary. All the same thing, all the different outlets that she's so happy. Oh, here's conclusion. Oh, that might help. For the foregoing reasons, the court should dismiss all charges against Ms. Richins. All of them, because of the walk the dog letter. Alternatively, the court should enter an order that disqualifies the Summit County Attorney's Office, changes venue from Summit County to Salt Lake County, suppresses all evidence related to the walk the dog letter, and provides for a jury instruction to preclude consideration of the state's false claim that Ms. Richins has engaged in witness tampering. Yeah, this is definitely quantity, not quality. And then it is signed. I don't know why it's 52 pages long. Is this all of the certificate and everything? That was a lot of words to not say a whole lot. Oh, and then this was them. This is the motion. Okay, this is Exhibit A that they talk about. All right, let's keep moving along here and see what we have. And do we have the next exhibit? Exhibit B. And Exhibit B is the 6-page walk the dog letter. We did that last week, so we're all good and square on that. We know exactly what she said. Exhibit C. Oh, let me minimize this so everybody can see what it looks like. Hold on. So, I can see down in the lower portion. I don't know if you all can. There's a tear on the actual envelope. And you can see some of the words, some of the writing there. So, Sky Lazaro, attorney privilege. Y'all, she didn't spell privilege correctly. Just had to add that. And Exhibit D is the motion for no contact order. And that's probably the last of it. I don't think there's, Exhibit E. Oh, look here. I bet she was very happy about this. Letter was intended to instruct Richins' brother to testify falsely that Eric obtained drugs from Mexico. I mean, that's what the letter says. She's just mad she got caught. That's what this is about. This is not about unfair. She hates that photo of herself. How do you know that? Please tell me you know that somehow. I'm sure she does. Witness tampering. New twist. What else we got here? Oh, Exhibit F. Children's book author who is charged with killing her husband, now accused of witness tampering. I mean, I don't know what else you call it. Yeah. Me too, Kelly. I'm sure that she She does not like that. That's why I put the picture on all of my thumbnails for my live streams about her. The picture that it is. Because I'll guarantee you she is not pleased about some of those. Okay, so let me see. Oh, I think there is a state's response. Let's go to that next. The state did respond to this particular motion. And we'll take a peek at that. And this is significantly less. This is 6 pages. Statement of relief sought. The court should deny the defendant's motion to enforce order and for contempt sanctions. The motion is a fire, aim, ready reaction to the defendant's misconduct in the jail. Ha! That's what I said. The motion contains factual errors and legal misunderstandings, rendering it unpersuasive at best. The state has an obligation to protect this proceeding from witness tampering. Consistent with that obligation and as a matter of necessity, the state filed a motion for no contact order. That motion was based on the defendant's witness tampering and breach of jail security. Oh, procedures. I missed that word. Sorry. On September 13th, 2023, the defendant had a telephone call with her mother, Lisa Darden. The defendant read aloud a portion of a letter written to the defendant by another inmate. Inmate to inmate correspondence. Oh, inmate to inmate correspondence is prohibited by jail rules. On September 14th, 2023, the defendant had a video call with her mother. The defendant held up the multi-page letter over the video so her mother could read or photograph. Oh, you dirty dog. No pun intended. The defendant did not read the letter aloud. Later that day, the Summit County Sheriff's Office searched the defendant's cell. Neither letter number 1 nor letter number 2 were found. However, the Walk the Dog letter was discovered hidden in an LSAT prep book located in the defendant's cell. What do you want to bet that she intended on putting that back in her envelope and she forgot and she chucked it in the LSAT book? I don't find this woman to be a pillar of intellect. So, the state's motion for no contact order was filed on September 15th, 2023, based upon the witness tampering described in the Walk the Dog letter. On September 16th, 2023, the defendant had a telephone call with her mother. The defendant described the Walk the Dog letter as an excerpt of a fictional book that the defendant is writing about her stay in a Mexican prison. What? The defendant explains in pertinent part, when I first got in here, I was telling you how I was writing a book. Those papers were not a letter to you guys. They were part of my freaking book. I was writing this fictional mystery book. I go to Mexico and I'm like trying to find these drugs. I'm writing about dad. Like me and dad went to Mexico to find these drugs. You can very much tell that the whole thing is very much a story. Then I get in the Mexican prison. I said, have Sky sneak me in some white strips because my teeth are getting yellow because all we do is drink coffee in the Mexican prison. Ma'am, do not throw shade on Mexican prisons or on Mexico in general. Footnote 1. Since the beginning of this matter, the state has filed its exhibits as freestanding docket entries and referenced these docket entries by number. This makes a clean record, eliminates duplicates, and is consistent with best practice in complex litigation. Legal authority and argument. The state did not violate the court's gag order. The court's narrowly tailored gag order applies to extrajudicial statements. The state has not made any extrajudicial statements. The Walk the Dog letter is an exhibit to the state's motion for no contact order. This is the very definition of a judicial statement. See case law. This court has been very clear that all issues in this proceeding will and shall be conducted transparently and with an associated public record. The Walk the Dog letter is an exhibit and a material one which provides critical justification for the state's request for relief. As a footnote, the motion also suggests that the state violated the court's gag order because filing the Walk the Dog letter disregarded the party's stipulation to produce documents in a specific, orderly, and formal manner. It is difficult to imagine a production that is more specific, orderly, and formal than a judicial filing. It is also difficult to reconcile the motion's argument that the state produced the letter extrajudicially with its argument that the state produced the letter in a judicial filing instead of pursuant to the discovery stipulation. I am here for the snark. I am really loving the snark in this response. I love it. Notwithstanding these contradictions, the state produced the Walk the Dog letter pursuant to the discovery stipulation contemporaneous to filing its motion for no contact. It is bait stamped pursuant to the established document control measures in this case, and whether the state produced the letter in a manner technically inconsistent with the discovery stipulation is completely irrelevant to whether the state violated the court's gag order. In another footnote, the motion vaguely raises a threshold matter of whether the Walk the Dog letter is a privileged attorney-client communication. The motion does not indicate how this matter is threshold to determining whether the state violated the court's gag order. Regardless, the state will address this issue. I'm sensing more snark on the horizon. The defendant asserts that the Walk the Dog letter is a privileged attorney-client communication because upon information and belief, a sheriff's deputy recovered it from an envelope that was labeled Sky Lazaro, attorney privileged. They spelled it right here. It's actually spelled wrong on the envelope. A sheriff's deputy, in fact, recovered the letter from the defendant's LSAT prep book. Since the motion to enforce order and for contempt was filed, the defendant has characterized the Walk the Dog letter as a work of her own fiction writing, not a letter to her lawyer. Regardless, hiding a non-privileged communication in an envelope labeled privileged does not magically transform it into a privileged communication. I told you there'd be snark. If it did, such envelopes would quickly be converted to devices for circumventing jail safety rules. Moreover, as the motion recognizes, sheriff's deputies are allowed to inspect the defendant's legal envelope to determine whether she is using it to hide contraband. The Walk the Dog letter is evidence of a crime, which is a classic contraband. The Walk the Dog letter is not a privileged attorney-client communication because it speaks directly to the defendant's mother and includes passages about the defendant's attorney, not to the defendant's attorney. Footnote 2. The motion's use of upon information and belief here is extraordinarily curious because it highlights the defendant's use of the same phrase in her Walk the Dog letter. To any objective reader of the letter, the defendant views upon information and belief, followed by LOL, as providing carte blanche to fabricate a narrative. Oh, I love all this snark. Is this Mr. Bloodworth that wrote this? I can't wait to get to the bottom and find out if it is. Oh my, I am really loving this tea that's being spilled. Its audience, content, and purpose are readily apparent. The defendant is asking her mother to facilitate witness tampering involving her brother, seeking to have her brother support a false factual narrative. Even if the court credits the defendant's far-fetched explanation that the letter is somehow a note regarding a fictional Mexican prison, the letter would still not constitute a privileged attorney-client communication because it is still was not addressed to the defendant's counsel for the purpose of securing legal advice. The addressee is clear from the content of the letter. The state did not violate Rule 11. The motion seeks sanctions generally under Rule 11B, which governs for specific representations of veracity that a party presents to the court in a pleading, written motion, or other paper. The defense did not identify or argue a specific subsection of Rule 11B because none of them apply, nor did the defense follow the procedure set forth in Rule 11. Instead, the defense simply complains that the state disclosed the defendant's confidential information. Such a complaint does not implicate any of the state's representations to the court. Accordingly, the defense's quest for sanctions under Rule 11 is misplaced. Regardless, the state has acted in good faith with its handling of the defendant's confidential information. The state has filed several hundred pages of documents in support of its prosecution of the defendant for the aggravated murder of her husband. The state has redacted confidential information contained in scores of those documents. On a few occasions, the state inadvertently failed to redact confidential information. Footnote 3. In its haste, the motion inaccurately asserts that the state has disclosed confidential information on countless occasions. This type of hyperbole is unproductive. Oh, I love it! In each instance, the state acted quickly to seal the document as soon as the state learned that confidential information was public. In the first instance, as the motion notes, the state took the extraordinary measure of contacting the court on a Sunday to seal the document. Shut the front door. In the first two instances, the defense immediately notified the state. Excuse me, I'm being spammed there. In the first two instances, the defense immediately notified the state that certain confidential information was public. In the third instance, on September 15th, 2023, the defense did not immediately notify the state that certain confidential information was public. Instead, the defense appears to have withheld this news so that it could argue for sanctions. The motion drew unnecessary attention to their client's confidential information before the state had an opportunity to seal the inadvertently disclosed information. The defense seems more concerned with sanctioning the state than protecting its client's confidential information. The state respectfully requests that the court deny the defendant's motion to enforce order and for contempt sanctions. And this was submitted by Patricia. Oh, there's Brad Bloodworth on there. Oh, I want to know who wrote that because I am all about some really good snark, let me tell you. And that was fantastic. Oh, 2 snaps up for the snark. Gotta love it. Okay, the next thing on my list is, there is a letter. I gotta find my mouse. It disappeared on me. There's a letter that Carmen Lauber wrote. I need to find it. I think you'll find this interesting. This is Carmen Lauber is the drug dealer, for lack of a better explanation. She's the drug dealer. And this was a letter written on September 26th. I'm going to try to get it large enough for everybody. Okay. And this must have been a different judge because it says Judge Maybe. And so I know that it's Judge Mrazek that we have right now. It's Judge Mr. Deep Voice. We all love to listen to Judge Mrazek. He's very, very level-headed. I like him quite a bit. Okay. Judge Maybe. I am writing you this letter because I need to make a statement that if I said in person during the court date can be used against me or used to discredit me by Kouri Richins' attorney, and I'm also afraid it could get leaked to the media and my personal life put on the news. It involves my mental health, physical health, and state of being. As you know, I have been 100% compliant with everything that's been asked of me by both Summit and Wasatch counties. I think that's how you say that. I check in every time I've been asked. I've cooperated as much as I can with investigators and have had to cut people very close to me out of my life. You have asked that I not have contact with either of my daughters. This means I can't see my grandchildren. I have missed football season with my grandsons, birthday parties, and even a baby shower for my daughter. I've lost many meaningful weekends with those who are the most important to me. Even Nick Bensavage, who has been such a supporting and uplifting person in my life, all so that I can show that I am willing to cooperate 100%. I have been court ordered into isolation, and it's starting to really hurt me in ways I haven't felt before. I have never felt so alone, depressed, and hopeless. I am continuing to see my therapist and doing everything I can, but it doesn't help the fact that I can't see my family and close friends, and it's really hurting me. I have not used drugs and have stayed true to myself, but I can't help some days just thinking about giving up. It's getting tough, and I'm having thoughts that are dangerous to my sobriety, long-term goals, and everything I've worked for. I'm not sure why these restrictions are in place. If they are for my safety, it is doing the opposite. This last week, I was hospitalized after having lost consciousness and falling on the floor, breaking my nose. Oh my, that's really awful. I had dangerously low blood pressure, and I now have several doctor's appointments to try and figure out what's wrong. I hurt deeply inside because of the situation my work found out, and I was put on administrative leave without pay and had to fight to keep a job I've had for 10 years. Oh my, poor Carmen. So many things are squeezing me, and I can't get any support from the people who can support me. My family is hurting, and so am I. My anxiety is constantly through the roof. And a lot of it is because I fear the unknown of what's going to happen to me. Please let me see my family. I miss my grandkids so much, and seeing them would make such a difference in my life that no amount of therapy could ever do. The holidays are coming up, and it kills me to think I won't be able to see them. These restrictions feel cruel, and I don't understand them. One of my daughters is fully terminated from probation, and the other is getting early termination. Nick applied to and was accepted at the University of Utah and is doing really good. I'm asking that you please reconsider these restrictions for my family and friends. It really scares me to testify against Kouri Richins, and it gives me a lot of anxiety. But I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to cooperate fully and show you that I'm going to do what's asked of me. If I am feeling like this, I'm afraid I might crumble on the strand. I think she meant stand. If I was able to be surrounded by those who support me throughout the process, it would really make this so much easier. Please reconsider the restrictions on my family and friends, or at least clearly tell me what has to be done so that I can see my family by the holidays. Thank you, Carmen Lauber. Isn't that sad? Yikes. Poor Carmen. She's just trying to do the right thing. And it's a lot. I'm happy that she's sober. That's super encouraging. I'm looking for the next. I have Warrant House Hidden Safe. Now, let me check this one. So bear with me. I did not review this one ahead of time. I think this is what we have already seen. Oh, well, maybe not. I'm gonna get us get it put up here for us. So this is a warrant that was issued. They were trying to get in the safe. Okay. We're going to start here where it says on May 8th, 2023, defendant was arrested on suspicion of aggravated. I got to make this bigger. I can't see. Old lady eyes. Aggravated murder, also on May 8th, 2023, pursuant to search warrant number 2646831, detectives of the Summit County Sheriff's Office searched the Richins' home for evidence of aggravated murder based on the probable cause outlined above. At that time, there was a wall safe hidden behind clothing on the north-facing wall of the master bedroom closet that was not searched. Upon completion of the search on May 8th, 2023, detectives released custody of the Richins' home to the trustee of the Richins estate, hereafter trustee. As related to Summit County detectives by trustee installed security cameras on both the exterior and interior of the Richins house for the purpose of monitoring and restricting access to the home. Uh-oh. Cameras were installed in the master bedroom and bathroom on May 25th, 2023. Since that date, only 3 people apart from detectives have been in the Richins master bedroom. Those 3 people did not access the wall safe and were unaware that the wall safe existed until October 19th, 2023. As related to Summit County detectives by trustee on October 19th, 2023, one of defendant's minor children described to the trustee, who is also the child's temporary guardian, the location and design of the hidden wall safe in the master closet. The child referred to the safe as a secret safe that the defendant had installed after Eric's death. What? Oh, I did not know about this. I didn't know there was a secret safe. I knew of a safe. I didn't know it was a secret safe. Based on the description, the trustee dispatched a private investigator to locate the hidden wall safe on October 23rd, 2023. The private investigator found and documented his discovery of the wall safe via audio, video, and written report. This report was made available to Summit County detectives. The private investigator did not open the safe. Video surveillance from inside the house would reasonably indicate that no person has accessed the hidden wall safe since defendant's arrest. Oh, I need to have like a Geraldo Rivera moment here, and we need to open the safe. I need to know what's in the safe. Don't y'all want to know what's in the safe? I feel like I need to know what's in the safe. The defendant's recorded jail phone calls reveal that as recently as October 24th, 2023, the defendant has a stated interest in recovering unknown information from inside the house. In a phone conversation recorded between defendant and her mother, Lisa Darden, on October 24th, 2023, at 9 minutes and 39 seconds into the recording, Lisa laments, defense counsel, just let me in the house and Kouri could tell me exactly where it is I'm looking for. To which defendant can be heard replying, apparently in agreement with Lisa's sentiment. Based on the above, your affiant finds it reasonable to conclude that defendant believes there is evidence remaining in the Richins house, whether inculpatory or exculpatory, and that same evidence is related to the crime of aggravated murder. Given that the defendant's child described the hidden wall safe located in the master bedroom closet as being a secret and having been installed after Eric's death, your affiant finds it reasonable to conclude that the defendant had exclusive access to wall safe until the time of her arrest. Given that the wall safe was not searched in May 2023, your affiant finds it reasonable to conclude that wall safe may contain evidence related to the crime of aggravated murder. I do too. I want to know what's in it. Don't y'all want to know? You are not the father. Yeah. This is new info to me too. I did not know this. All right, let's see if it tells us anything more. See, aren't you all glad that I don't try to read through all of this before we all meet? Because then we get to all be surprised and shocked together. Wah, wah, wah. We don't get to know what's in it. I bet during the trial we'll find out what was in it. Oh. I'm glad I chose that little document. That's a nice little tidbit I did not know anything about. So, let me see what is next. Official transcript of electronic records, jail call 1, Kouri Richins and Lisa Darden. I know how you all love so much when I get to put my theater hat on and pretend to be other people. So we're going to do it again. How does that grab y'all? Exactly. I mean, don't we all have secret wall safes? I mean, right up there with, Anyone I know that has needed to be incarcerated, it's in a luxury prison. Okay. All righty. Let's see. Official transcript of electronic recording. Lisa, hello. Kouri, hello. Lisa, how goes it? Kouri, I just feel like today is feels like it's 1,000 hours long, like minute by minute by minute. Isn't that a song? Minute by minute by minute. Sorry, digress. It's going by so slow. Oh, honey, you have no idea how slow time is going to go. Lisa, oh, really? Yes, Lisa Darden is Kouri's mother. Thank you, Kelly, for keeping me on track. How goes it? Lisa says, oh, really? Kouri, yeah. Lisa, I just feel like mine's been a shitty day all day long. Kouri, oh God, did it get worse? Lisa, well, I woke up to check the mail on my phone. That started it. And I thought, oh my God, what is this? And of course, she's just now getting around to getting my mail. Kouri, oh, so you just got it? Lisa, yeah. Kouri, oh, how was the letter you were worried about? Lisa, it was yours. Kouri, oh. And then a bunch of redacted. Lisa, yeah. So this is what I've learned. I've got 3 bad newses. Kouri, God, Jesus. Lisa, should I skip them? Just worry about them another day? Kouri, no. Just what? Lisa, okay. So they're going after another subpoena, and this one is to Vacation Express. Kouri, Lisa, okay. So you know that one. Kouri, uh-huh. Lisa, remember, Kouri, that other house in Camas that you had for a minute? Kouri, yeah. Lisa, okay. So remember you went and saw somebody in Heber? Kouri, no. Lisa, yeah, you went. You went and talked to somebody about options. Kouri, oh, I think so. Yeah. Lisa, okay. So that's going to get ready for that, just so you know. That way you're not blindsided. Kouri, is it red? Lisa, what? Kouri, is it red? Okay. No, never. Lisa, no, no, no. Kouri, okay. Okay. Then start over. Kouri, yes. I'm sorry. Okay, okay, then start over. Lisa, okay. So you had the house in Camas for a minute. Kouri, yes. Lisa, during that period, you went down and talked to somebody. I believe they were out of Heber. Kouri, okay. Lisa, okay. That's it. I'm just letting you know that that is out there. Kouri, okay. Lisa, and I don't know if Sky is aware of that, but you might want to tell her. Kouri, okay. And then a whole big bunch of redacted, a whole big bunch of redacted. And that's the end of it. That sure looks suspicious. Like very suspicious. That absolutely was code. That was code talk right there. Do y'all not think it was code talk? Because I do. Ms. D, you just did what Jennifer and I, so phrases said when we sing a song related to that. It's probably our age. And yeah, they make me want to poke my eyeballs out too. So that's not the only one. We're going to have another transcript to read. So let me get to the next one, the next phone call. And we'll get to enjoy yet another one. Okay. Lisa. Hello? Kouri. Hi. Lisa. Hi. Kouri. So when were those two dated for those subpoenas? Lisa. That letter I just received? Kouri. Yeah, not the letter for the kids. Lisa. The vacation place? Kouri. And the other one? Lisa. Oh, that one just happened today. Kouri. Both of them? Or was that all? Lisa. There was only one. Kouri. In one letter? Lisa. Are we talking about the subpoena they just issued? Kouri. Yeah, for the vacation and the thing in Heber. Lisa. No, no, no. Nothing about the thing in Heber. That was just brought to my attention because from my friend who said, way back when, Lisa, somebody said, and they said it was no big deal. The other party already knew. So that could be gossip, but it might be something you need. You know what I'm saying? Kouri. Oh, so what were the three letters? The kids, the vacation, and Lisa, and that. But it wasn't a letter. The vacation wasn't a letter either. That was just a new document that was filed. Kouri. It's a subpoena. Redacted. Kouri again. I get that. So there was no document on the Heber. That's just something going around. Lisa. Yes. Kouri. Okay. Lisa. Yes. Kouri. Will you take a picture of that one, the vacation one, and send the picture to Sky and say, Kouri would like you to oppose this if possible? Lisa. Okay. Yeah. It just went out today. Kouri. Yeah. Well, good. Will you screenshot it and send it to her? Lisa. Okay. Kouri. I just tried to call her, but she didn't answer. Redacted. Kouri. Yeah, that's perfect. Lisa. Okay. Kouri. So do you have a copy of that you can screenshot? Lisa. Of that, I will hear in 1 minute. Kouri. Oh, okay. It's just not their fucking business, you know? Lisa. Right. Kouri. Where we vacation. Lisa. Right. And they've got a certain name on there they're looking at that's in there. They want accounts, records, and bookings. Oh. Is this about the Paramore? Oh, we'll keep reading, Janet. Keep reading. Kouri, I'm trying to think what we've booked. I know Hawaii and Mexico. Lisa, yeah. See, and there again, it comes back to reaching. Kouri, exactly. They're so fucking ridiculous. Lisa, what does any of that have to do with his death? Kouri, right, exactly. That's what I'm like. Sorry. That's why I'm like, no, what does that have to do with anything? So yeah, if you'll screenshot it, just send it to Sky and just say, Kouri wants you to oppose this. It's bullshit. Lisa, okay. Kouri, actually, I think me and the girls booked to Costa Rica through there. We never went, but Lisa, it doesn't even matter. Kouri, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think that's why I'm so annoyed because what the hell does that have to do with anything? Lisa, right. Kouri. And so it's just like, why do you keep, because they're just fucking reaching. And who cares about that? Lisa, yeah, exactly. Kouri, and who cares about that other thing from Heber? Lisa, that's what Ronnie said too. So the fuck what? He did this. Shit was going south. Oh my. What? What? Kouri, well, yeah, and he did the exact same thing. We have the name of her. Lisa, right. Kouri, so what the hell does that matter? Lisa, right. Do you know her name? Kouri, yeah. Lisa, okay. So these are just things, Kouri, yeah. So I'm thinking, Lisa, you'll want a list with Sky. Kouri, stupid ass is the one who told us about it. It was in one of her filings a year ago. What is this even about? Lisa, I'd be curious if they were about the same time. Kouri, well, they were. Same year. So, I mean, I'm like, what the shit does that matter? I mean, where did that even come from? Lisa, where did I hear about it? Kouri, yeah. Lisa, through Jeannie, blah, 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 who said, by the way, Lisa, months at the very beginning, somebody said it was no big deal because the other side had it. She said, and I just forgot about it until the other one said something to me that somebody ought to tell Kouri just for a heads up. Kouri, well, she knows that they did the same thing, right? Lisa, okay, I'm going to assume. Kouri, I mean, I would hope so too. Lisa, right, because I think it came out in court one day. Kouri, yeah. Lisa, he was looking to Kouri. So I wonder, Lisa, yeah. Kouri, does she know that? I mean, Lisa, so yeah, she's got to know. Well, when do you talk to her again? Kouri, no, I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about your lady. So yeah, I'm Lisa. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. And with what you went with, if you think about it like this, they don't want to put that person on the stand. Kouri, oh, they don't? Lisa, I wouldn't think so. Kouri, well, yeah, no. I mean, Lisa, well, you think about it. Kouri, huh? Lisa, what? Yeah, that'd make them look like an idiot. Kouri, well, that's what I mean. Like what the fuck? Lisa, but like I said, right now it's gossip and yeah. Kouri, I just don't get like Lisa, right now it's Kouri. What anything has to do with anything. I'm just going to tell Sky to start freaking opposing every fucking subpoena they have. This is getting fucking ridiculous. Lisa, yes. Yes, I agree. Kouri, so when you text her, say not only this one, but everyone in the future. This is fucking ridiculous. Lisa, right. Okay, I'm going to try to call her. Kouri, well, Lisa, see if she'll answer. Kouri, try to. So she's probably Lisa, but if she didn't answer you, Kouri, I mean, yeah, you can. Lisa, yeah. Kouri, well, you can try to call her. Lisa, okay, I'll send her a text saying, Kouri, if she doesn't answer, then yeah, send her the text with a screenshot and say, Kouri wants you to pose this and any more moving forward because it's just fucking ridiculous. Lisa, okay. Kouri, all right. Text me back when you're done. Lisa, bye. What? That's what I'm thinking, Gina. Is this about Kouri taking multiple expensive vacations with her boyfriend? I don't know if this is about the paramour or not. I don't know the context of it, but they are very much code talkers that cannot possibly be good. Like, what are we doing here? And she is heated about it. I mean, she's mad. She's mad, big mad. Okay. I am going to pull up I think this was the final amended charges. Oh, let's get to the right spot. Yeah, the final amended charges, because they were amended several times. This is the last one I think I could find, and this is from May of 2024. And I thought it would be a good idea for us to take a peeky weeky at it. Just to get an idea of what exactly is going to be charged in the trial when the trial starts. Because as far as I know, jury selection started today. So, we are at criminal homicide, aggravated murder. This is 14 pages long, so she has a lot of charges. A second count, exactly the same. 2 counts of distribution of controlled substance. Mortgage fraud. 1, 2. 2 counts of mortgage fraud. 2 counts of insurance fraud. 3 counts of forgery. And I believe this tells us how much can I say it right? Quetiapine. I think that's right. Is my pharmacist with us today? I think that's how you say it. 16,000 milliliters, I'm thinking is what that means, of quetiapine. And it is an atypical antipsychotic medication used for the treatment of schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and major depressive disorder. It is widely used as a sleep aid due to its sedating effect. And the defendant told law enforcement that at the time of Eric's death, she had a prescription. This goes through a summary of this. Oh, maybe we need to read all this. Would you all like me to read all of this that gives us a little summary of the night of his death? I can do that. At 7:22 p.m. on March 3rd, 2022, the night of Eric Richins' death, the defendant's paramour. Paramour text messaged the defendant a photograph of two people kissing that was captioned, "Love you." At 8:36 p.m., the defendant responded, "Love you," emoji. While EMS personnel were attending to Eric Richins, the defendant told law enforcement that she and Eric Richins had a drink together at 9 o'clock to celebrate something at work tomorrow. A year later, the defendant told law enforcement, "I made Moscow mules in the kitchen and I brought them into our bedroom." The defendant further said that they drank the Moscow mules sitting on the bed. Sometime after Eric Richins' death, the defendant wrote in a journal that on the night of Eric Richins' death, she and Eric went to the kitchen and both started grabbing ingredients for a Moscow mule and a lemon drop. "We finished talking, made our way back to our bedroom and brushed our teeth." On the night of Eric Richins' death, the defendant told law enforcement, "We eat THC gummies. Sometimes Eric will eat a gummy before he goes to bed. It didn't seem like he did, though." A year after Eric Richins' death, the defendant told law enforcement that she saw Eric Richins take a THC gummy in the bedroom after drinking the Moscow Mule. Oh, her ever-evolving story. The defendant then clarified, "I didn't actually see him take it. He told me he took it, and then he had to have taken it while I was making the drinks." In explaining to law enforcement how the defendant thinks that the fentanyl got into Eric Richins' body, the defendant said, "I honest to God think it was in one of those gummies. I 100%. After the defendant's arrest for the murder of Eric, the defendant's mother asked the defendant if she was sure the fentanyl came from a THC gummy. The defendant replied, "That is what I'm banking on. Yes." Ew, that's what I'm banking on? Ma'am, that's gross. You are awful. The OME did not find any THC in Eric Richins' blood or gastric fluid. The THC gummies in Eric Richins' home at the time of his death were tested and did not contain fentanyl. The defendant told law enforcement that she went to bed with Eric Richins in the bedroom at approximately 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. on March 3rd, 2022. And shortly thereafter went to one of their children's bedrooms to sleep with the child because the child was having nightmares. The defendant said she awoke in the children's bedroom at approximately 3 o'clock a.m. on March 4th, 2022, and returned directly to the bedroom. The defendant said that she was asleep in the child's bedroom the entire time. The defendant told law enforcement that when she left the bedroom at approximately 9:30, 9:45 to go to the child's bedroom, she left her cell phone plugged in next to her bed and did not take it to the child's bedroom. Really? The defendant told law enforcement that upon returning to the bedroom, she felt Eric Richins and he was cold to the touch and not breathing, and she immediately called 911. Summit County Dispatch received her 911 call at 3:21 a.m. on March 4th, 2022. Forensic analysis of the defendant's cell phone shows that it was unlocked 6 times between 3:06 a.m. On March 4th, 2022, and 15 minutes later at 3:21 a.m. when the defendant called 911. This analysis also shows that in the 13 minutes between 3:08 a.m. and 3:21 a.m., the defendant's phone or an associated device traveled approximately 378 feet. Shut the front door. This woman. 378 feet. That's more than 3 football fields. No, that's more than a football field. Sorry. Yards, feet. Got myself mixed up there. The defendant told law enforcement that she performed CPR on Eric Richins pursuant to the 911 dispatcher's instructions The 911 recording captures the defendant counting as if she is performing chest compressions. The defendant told her best friend, "I pumped so hard, screaming at him to come back to life." The defendant wrote in a journal that she began CPR compressions until the EMT arrived. They immediately took over. According to EMS personnel, dispatch says she was doing CPR, but the first on scene fire guy said she wasn't. Oh, Kouri. Eric Richins nearly died on Valentine's Day 2022. A certain diner in Commerce, Utah opens daily at 7 o'clock a.m. At 8:53 a.m. on February 14th, 2022, the defendant placed a 1-minute phone call to the diner. The defendant's and Eric Richins' joint bank account statement shows a $41.29 purchase at the diner on this day. At 9:41 a.m., the defendant text messaged her paramour, headed that way. At 9:49 a.m., the defendant text messaged him a screenshot of a navigation application on her cell phone showing her current location on SR 32 in Commerce and her projected arrival at an unknown destination at 10:49 a.m. At 11:09 a.m., Eric Richins placed a 2-minute phone call to the defendant. At 11:27 a.m., Eric Richins text messaged a photograph to the defendant. The photograph has been deleted from both the defendant's and Eric Richins' phones. At 11:33 a.m., Eric Richins text messaged the defendant, "I'm going to go lay down for a bit. If I don't start getting better, I'm going to head to the hospital." 1 minute later, the defendant responded, "Geez, it's that bad? Need me to come home? Go to take a nap and call me when you're up." 5 minutes later at 11:39 a.m., activity recorded on Eric Richins' phone and associated devices ceased. Activity did not resume until nearly 2 hours later at 1:32 p.m. At 1:43 p.m., Eric Richins text messaged the defendant and asked, "Are you home?" The defendant responded, "No, in Provo, waiting for my cabinet installer guy. Are you home?" At 1:45 p.m., Eric Richins responded, "In the office, I've been sleeping out here." Eric Richins' office was located in a freestanding structure behind his home. At 1:59 p.m., Eric Richins called witness one, a close friend, and reported, "You almost lost me." Eric Richins told witness one that the defendant had left him a sandwich and a note in the front seat of his truck, that he went in the house with the sandwich, had one bite of the sandwich, and broke out into hives. Eric Richins said that he then injected himself with his son's EpiPen that was on the counter, drank a bottle of Benadryl, and went to sleep. Dear God, I hope he didn't drink a bottle of Benadryl. Eric Richins told witness one that he had almost died. Witness one could hear the fear in Eric Richins' voice and tell that Eric Richins was scared. At 2:11 p.m., Eric Richins called witness two, another close friend, and reported, "I think my wife tried to poison me." Eric Richins told witness two that the defendant had left him his favorite sandwich from the diner along with a note. He said that he ate some of the sandwich, got sick, and blacked out. Eric Richins told witness two that he felt like he was going to die. Witness two was struck by the tone of Eric Richins' voice and said Eric Richins seemed different, down, and somber. Opioids, including fentanyl, can cause allergic and pseudo-allergic reactions to include hives. Eric Richins did not have any food allergies. Good evening, 1126. Thanks for joining. I need to check something quickly here. This space. Oh, there's a lot here, y'all. Oh, there's a lot. We're going to be here for a minute. So I just wanted to check and see what all was going on with this, if it was all writing like that. It is. I'm ready for some more tea. On June 18th, 2022, 3.5 months after Eric Richins' death, the defendant text messaged her best friend about this incident. The defendant wrote, "It was Valentine's Day and Eric and I were both working from home that day and I ordered lunch from the diner. He never broke out in hives or used an EpiPen. I was fucking with him. He said the sandwich hurt his stomach, so he was going to take a nap. No hives, no EpiPen." Why is she lying about this? I don't understand why we're lying about this all this time before, this is weeks before she finally offed him. On August 22nd, 2023, nearly 4 months after the defendant was arrested for the murder of Eric, the defendant discussed this incident in 2 phone calls. In a phone call with her mother, the defendant confirmed she was the person who picked up sandwiches from the diner on Valentine's Day. She said, "We ate in the office." In a phone call with her brother, the defendant discussed buying lunch at the diner that day. The defendant purchased illicit fentanyl shortly before Eric Richins' near death on Valentine's Day 2022 and death on March 3rd, 4th, 2022. The defendant occasionally employed witness 3 to assist her with renovating houses. On January 20th, 2022, the defendant text messaged witness 3, "I did want to chat with you about something super random. Not now at kids stuff. I'll call you tomorrow if that works." On January 21st, 2022 at 7:24 p.m., the defendant text messaged witness 3, "Hey, today snuck away from me. Can I give you a call in the morning around 11:30? On January 22nd, 2022 at 11:06 a.m., the defendant text messaged witness 3, "Got a sec?" Witness 3 told law enforcement that he spoke with the defendant on January 22nd, 2022, and that the defendant asked him for fentanyl. The defendant told witness 3 that she wanted the fentanyl for a client who had back pain. Witness 3 told the defendant that he would not get her fentanyl, and the defendant hung up on witness 3. She was like, "Not going to get it for me? Fine. Click." On January 22nd, 2022 at 5:35 p.m., after the phone call in which the witness 3 declined to get fentanyl for the defendant text message witness 3, "Have another one for you. Call me if you get a sec." Witness 3 told law enforcement that during a second phone call with the defendant on January 22nd, 2022, the defendant asked him for propofol. Witness 3 told the defendant that he could not get her propofol. The text messages from January 22nd between the defendant and witness 3 were manually deleted from the defendant's phone. After that date, the defendant and witness 3 did not communicate ever again. Defendant and witness 3 had communicated regularly throughout the prior year. On May 31st, 2022, approximately 3 weeks after the defendant's arrest for the murder of Eric, the defendant's mother text messaged the defendant. Witness 3 running his mouth. Oh, mama is all in this business here. The defendant occasionally employed witness 4 to clean houses. Witness 4 told law enforcement that sometime in early 2022, before Eric Richins' death, the defendant either called or texted her to ask that she procures some fentanyl for the defendant. Forensic analysis of Verizon records for the defendant's cell phone shows 746 SMS messages, 94 MMS messages, and 12 calls between the defendant's phone and witness 4's phone between January 1st and March 15th, 2022. I must hydrate. These messages were manually deleted from the defendant's phone. The defendant's phone contained messages to and from witness 4 before and after this time frame. Witness 4 told law enforcement that pursuant to the defendant's request for fentanyl, she contacted witness 5 for an introduction to someone that would sell her fentanyl. Witness 5 confirmed that witness 4 asked her for an introduction to someone that would sell witness 4 fentanyl. Witness 5 elaborated that witness 4 messaged her through Facebook asking to speak with her and that she called witness 4 shortly thereafter. A Facebook message from witness 4 to witness 5 on February 5th at 1:37 p.m. asked, "Text me. I've got a question. Won't do it on this." I bet you won't, Kouri. In response to witness 4's, I know exactly, Kelly. That is a lot of witnesses. Like, how many people did she talk to and involve in this? It's crazy. In response to witness 4's inquiry, witness 5 provided witness 4 with the phone number of a fentanyl dealer. Witness 6. Witness 4's phone contains a contact for witness 6's phone number. The contact is labeled in a fashion that connects witness 5 with witness 6. Witness 4 told law enforcement that she contacted witness 6 shortly after receiving his contact information from witness 5 and asked to purchase fentanyl. Witness 4's phone records established that she text messaged witness 6 on February 10th, 2022 at 8:52 p.m. Witness 4 told law enforcement that she met witness 6 at the Maverick gas station in Draper on February 11th and purchased from him 15 to 13 round light green blue pills, which she understood to be fentanyl. Witness 4's phone data shows that she called witness 6 several times on February 11th between 5:19 p.m. and 6:52 p.m. Witness stated that these calls were to coordinate the specific timing of the fentanyl purchase. Witness 4's phone data also shows that she text messaged witness 6 several times beginning at 7:18 p.m. while she was located at the Maverick. Witness 4's phone data shows several text messages between the defendant and witness 4 on February 11th. The messages began at 3:42 p.m. while witness 4 was at her home in Heber and continued at 6:23 p.m. as she passed through Linden on her way to the Maverick gas station in Draper. Oh, I think I know what the Heber and all of the code talk was about now on the jail calls. Is about this. The defendant and witness 4 text messaged at 7:18 p.m. while witness 4 was located at the Maverick and text messaging with witness 6. The messages continued at 8:20 p.m. at witness 4 as witness 4 passed through Lehigh on her way back to her home in Heber and concluded at 8:56 p.m. while witness 4 was at her home in Heber. I need one of those boards with the strings and everything for the number of witnesses about the drugs that she got. This is crazy. Witness, excuse me. Witness 4 told law enforcement that she delivered the pills that she purchased from witness 6 to the defendant in a hand-to-hand transaction in the driveway of witness 4's home in Heber on either February 11th or February 12th. Witness 4's phone data shows that in addition to the text messages, the defendant and witness 4 exchanged on February 11th, the defendant and witness 4 exchanged text messages on February 12th at 9:58 a.m. and 2:49 p.m. Witness 4 was located at her home in Heber during both exchanges. The defendant and witness 4 exchanged 30 text messages on Valentine's Day. Not Valentine's Day. Witness 4 told law enforcement that in late February 2022, the defendant told her that the fentanyl pills that she previously provided were not strong enough and asked that she procure some stronger fentanyl. Witness 4 initially stated that the defendant specifically asked for some of that Michael Jackson stuff during the second request for fentanyl, but subsequently conceded that the defendant may have referred to Michael Jackson during her earlier request for fentanyl. Michael Jackson died of a propofol overdose. On February 26, 2022, witness 4 sent witness 5 a Facebook message asking that witness 5 again provide her with witness 6's phone number. Later that same day, witness 4 contacted witness 6 and arranged to purchase additional fentanyl from him at the same Maverick gas station in Draper. Witness 4's phone data shows that on February 26, beginning at 2:25 p.m., the defendant and witness 4 exchanged several text messages. They continued to exchange text messages between 5:01 and 10:22 p.m. as witness 4 traveled from her home in Heber to the Maverick gas station in Draper and back to her home in Heber. Witness 4's phone data also shows that she exchanged text messages with the defendant and witness 6 while she was located at the Maverick. On May 8th, 2023, the defendant was arrested for the murder of Eric Richins, received a copy of the charging document and probable cause statement. The probable cause statement referred to witness 4 by her initials and contained many of the facts presented above. On a jail call that day with her mother and brother, the defendant said, "Eric asked me to ask witness 4 for pain pills." Wow. Internet searches and articles on the defendant's phone. I don't know that we need to go through this section since we actually looked at what she searched on here. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Oh, well, and there you go. It's that part is over. We actually looked at all of them. And if you're just coming in late, if you are coming in late, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And we reviewed all of the internet searches earlier in this live stream, so feel free to go back and catch up on that. On April 26, 2019, the defendant formed Kouri Richins Realty for the purpose of selling, buying real estate. I better hydrate again. We're going to talk about some financial stuff. So the defendant was the sole member of the company. The defendant used hard money loans to finance Kouri Richins Realty house flipping projects. At the time of Eric Richins' death, Kouri Richins Realty owed hard money lenders at least $1,847,760. In the 5 months prior to Eric Richins' death, Kouri Richins Realty realized $170,000 in revenue while its monthly debt service exceeded $250,000. Oh my word. Monthly debt service exceeded $250,000. It borrowed from over 25 lenders to support its business and service its debt obligations. Despite Kouri Richins Realty's existing debt and insufficient revenue, the defendant continued to use hard money loans to purchase additional properties, including 3 properties in November 2021. Kouri Richins Realty banked with America First Credit Union. At the time of Eric's death, its account balance was negative $5,734. In the 5 months preceding Eric's death, the defendant sought to withdraw over $300,000 from this account for which there were insufficient funds. This resulted in 198 separate overdraft and return transaction fees totaling almost $5,000. Yes, KS Granny, 25 lenders. On September 30th, 2021, the defendant entered into a revenue purchase agreement with Greengrass Holdings, whereby Greengrass purchased $87,000 in purported accounts receivable across 8 companies registered to the defendant. Y'all know this is all lies. Greengrass remitted $60,000 to the defendant as agreed. The defendant did not remit the purported receivables to Greengrass as agreed. Kouri Richins Realty was the only one the defendant's 8 companies operating at the time. On December 9th, 2021, 3 months before Eric Richins' death, Greengrass sued the defendant for $87,532 owed, plus interest, costs, and disbursements. The defendant had a personal checking account with Navy Federal Credit Union, which included a $15,000 credit line. Between August 28th, 2021 and December 28th, 2021, the account balance ranged from between 0 and negative 51. And the credit line balance owing ranged between $13,714 and $14,814. Nevertheless, during this time frame, the defendant wrote 8 checks from this account totaling $36,600 payable to herself or Kouri Richins Realty. Navy Federal returned those checks unpaid. The defendant had an interest in Eric Richins' successful business only if he died while they were married. Eric Richins and his business partner owned a stone masonry business called C&E Stone Masonry. They founded the business on December 1st, 2009, more than 3 years prior to Eric Richins' marriage to the defendant. In 2020, now this is saying that they got married in 2012. I'm confused on when they got married. We'll continue. In 2020, C&E's adjusted taxable income was over $1.4 million. Eric and the defendant entered into a premarital agreement dated June 15th, 2013. In the PMA, the defendant released and relinquished all right, claim, or interest in C&E Stone Masonry. The PMA provides that following Eric's marriage to the defendant, C&E shall nevertheless remain the sole property of Eric. The PMA further provides that the defendant shall have no right or claim to the business except that if Eric should die prior to the defendant while the two are lawfully married, Eric's partnership interest in the business shall transfer to the defendant. As early as February 2019, the defendant told witness 7, a friend, that she was trapped in her marriage, that the PMA would leave her without anything financially, and that she didn't know a way out of her marriage. Wow. On December 17th, 2021, the defendant told witness 8 that she felt stuck and trapped in her marriage and it would be better if Eric just died. Right? How does no one have their date? I don't know, Kelly. It doesn't make any sense to me. The defendant mistakenly believed she would inherit Eric Richins' estate. On October 13th, 2020, Eric consulted an estate planning lawyer. Eric informed his lawyer that he wanted to protect himself in the short term from recently discovered and ongoing abuse and misuse of his finances by the defendant, and to protect his 3 children in the long term by ensuring that the defendant would never be in a position to manage his property after his death. Oh boy. Ding, 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 ding. You had that one right, Eric. On November 3rd, 2020, Eric executed several estate planning instruments, including a healthcare directive, durable power of attorney, pour-over will, and the Eric Richins Living Trust. In each of these instruments, he appointed his sister, Kouri Richins Benson, as agent, fiduciary, or trustee to the intentional and purposeful exclusion of the defendant. He transferred his home and his interest in C&E to the trust. Eric removed the defendant as the beneficiary of a $500,000 New York life insurance company policy on his life and designated the trust as the beneficiary. On March 6, 2022, in the immediate aftermath of Eric Richins' death, Eric Richins' sister Amy was at Eric's home. The defendant asked Amy to leave the property. Amy responded that the home did not belong to the defendant and instead belonged to the trust. The defendant then struck Amy several times. The defendant, in a text message to her paramour, recounted the event as, "I lost it on Eric's sister finally and punched her." Couple of times, angry face emoji. "My brother ripped me off of her before it got too intense. She called the cops. It was at my own house because I told her to leave and she wouldn't. Said this is her brother's and she didn't have to. So I said, get out or I'll get you out." Well, hello. Is that any vibe? New England vibes? No vibes? Thanks for joining us. I'm happy to be covering it as well. You will definitely want to go back to last week and see the first part of this. Sheriff's deputies responded to Eric Richins' home and called Eric Richins' estate planning lawyer from the scene. The lawyer explained to the defendant that Eric had indeed placed his home into a trust and that Kouri Richins Benson was the trustee. The defendant's behavior during their conversation led the lawyer to believe that the defendant was learning of the trust and its provisions for the first time. Yup. The defendant later told law enforcement that she was just now learning after all of this happened about the trust in general. The defendant was a beneficiary of a significant amount of insurance on Eric Richins' life. At the time of Eric Richins' death, at least 3 insurance policies on Eric Richins' life existed, with aggregate death benefits of $1,350,000 and the defendant as the beneficiary. A 4th policy existed with a death benefit of $500,000. The defendant mistakenly believed that she was the beneficiary of that policy. A 5th policy existed that paid approximately $168,000 toward the balance of Eric Richins' mortgage. The defendant submitted a falsified bank statement to Ironbridge Financial in support of a mortgage loan application. On July 7th, 2021, the defendant, on behalf of Kouri Richins Realty, entered into a mortgage loan with Ironbridge Financial. In support of the loan application, on June 29th, the defendant submitted a purported America First statement for Kouri Richins Realty dated May 31st, showing an account balance of $210,898.61. The actual America First statement for Kouri Richins Realty dated May 31st shows an account balance of $15,609.93. The America First statement for C&E dated May 31st, 2021 shows an account balance of $210,898.61. The transaction descriptions listed on the purported statement that the defendant submitted in support of the mortgage loan application are identical to the transaction descriptions listed on C&E's statement. The purported statement that the defendant submitted is comprised of the header of Kouri Richins Realty actual statement and the body of C&E's statement. On July 2nd, while processing the mortgage loan, an Iron Bridge representative noted to the defendant, "When I ran your credit, it was lower than I expected. Looks like there are some delinquencies with regards to a few credit cards. I was just a bit surprised by that. I know you have a lot of money in the bank to cover expenses." Or so it looked. 3 days later, the defendant explained, "I recently learned about all of this as well, LOL. And then my husband tried to explain to me this was his doing a while ago. We are in the process of separation for one of many reasons, but this is one of them, to keep it short and sweet, LOL. It's been crazy to say the least." Wow. You are just hateful. Defendant submitted a falsified bank statement to Boomerang Finance. So here she did the exact same thing again, only this time the account balance was $702,831.96. I'm not going to read all of the exact same information. You all got the gist of what she did there. Then January 29th, 2022, the defendant applied to TrueStage for an insurance policy on Eric with a death benefit of $100,000 and the defendant named as a beneficiary. This life insurance policy became effective on February 4th, 10 days before the defendant's attempt on Eric Richins' life and 1 month before his death. The defendant was able to apply for the policy because of her membership in PenFed Credit Union. Eric had no affiliations with PenFed. The policy premiums were deducted from Kouri Richins Realty's America First account. Eric had no affiliation with this account. The address for Eric Richins provided on the application is a P.O. box solely belonging to the defendant. The phone number for Eric provided on the application contained an incorrect digit. The signature on the application that purported to be Eric's signature is a forgery. On August 20th, 2023, 3 months after the defendant was arrested for the murder of Eric Richins, the defendant's mother, while discussing the defendant's finances, asked the defendant about this TrueStage policy. The defendant replied, "Don't talk about that one." Oh, Kouri. Defendant fraudulently claimed insurance benefits from Eric Richins' death. The defendant was the beneficiary of 2 insurance policies on Eric Richins' life issued by TrueStage with an aggregate death benefit of $350,000. One of the policies issued on May 12th, 2017, and the other on February 4th, 2022, 1 month prior to Eric Richins' death. On April 28th, 2022, the defendant submitted a claim against the policies. On June 7th, 2022, TrueStage learned that Eric Richins' cause of death was drug intoxication, fentanyl. On June 14th, 2022, TrueStage left a voicemail with the defendant requesting a copy of any prescription Eric Richins had for fentanyl. Later that same day, the defendant informed TrueStage that the fentanyl was not prescribed and that she didn't have any idea how Eric Richins obtained the fentanyl. The next day, June 15th, 2022, the defendant reiterated to TrueStage that she really did not know where Eric Richins obtained the fentanyl. Oh, and that is the end of that. Y'all, she was busy. She was really busy with all of the in life insurance and the spending of the money. Oh my goodness gracious. I did not realize that was going to be so revealing. That's a pretty good summary of all of it. There is a letter here I am going to pull up, and I marked it. I don't even know what this letter is about, but it is from an individual. His name is Robert Crozier. And this letter came in. Why am I not able to find this now? This happened the other night when I did this. I knew exactly what I wanted. Oh, wait. I'm getting there, y'all. Thanks for your patience. Okay, this is some sort of a witness. I don't know this name. I thought it would be good for us to look at it together because I don't know what this is in reference to. So we're going to look at it together. State of Utah, County of Davis, affiant being duly sworn, states and deposes as follows. My name is Robert Crozier, and I am currently residing in the Davis County Jail. Jail. I am over the age of 18 and have personal knowledge of all facts stated herein, unless otherwise so stated. I have been identified as a witness in the above stated matter. In that capacity, I have been interviewed on 2 separate occasions by individuals associated with the prosecution of Kouri Richins. I have been told that the first interview was on or about May 4th, 2023. It was conducted by 2 officers from the Summit County Police Department at the Davis County Jail. I do not know the names of the officers who interviewed me. On May 4th, 2023, I had been in jail for a short time and was detoxing from drug use. I do not have any personal recollection of the details of that interview, although I have since been told that I agreed that I had sold fentanyl to Carmen Lauber in 2022 on 2 occasions. Oh, Robert is, oh gosh, which witness is this? Is this witness 5 or witness 6? Help me out in the chat. I can't remember which one. In early April of 2025, I was asked to meet with 2 people from the Summit County Attorney's Office. I believe that both individuals were prosecutors, and they told me they were prosecuting Kouri Richins. I believe that one of them was Brad Bloodworth. I cannot recall the name of the other individual who was at the meeting, but it was a man with a beard. I was sober at that meeting and had been sober for over 3 months. Memories better. We met at a Starbucks coffee in downtown Salt Lake City. Mr. Bloodworth and the other individual asked me if I had sold fentanyl to Carmen Lauber. I told them no. I sold OxyContin to Carmen Lauber on 2 occasions in early 2022. I told them I met her at the Maverick and Draper both times to sell her the pills. They asked why I had previously told officers that I had sold her fentanyl. I told them I did not remember saying that and that I had been detoxing during that interview and was out of it. I told them that I was certain that I had sold Carmen Lauber OxyContin 30 milligram pills, otherwise known as Roxy's or Roxy 30s. They asked me several times if I was sure, and I told them yes, I was sure I sold her OxyContin. I was told at that meeting that I would be called as a witness in this case and that the Summit County Attorney's Office would be putting me up in a hotel near the courthouse. I certify that this statement is true. Dated September 10th, 2025. And there's more. Also, Robert Crozier or Crozier. I don't know how you say his name. I think I may have lost my chat again. So if y'all are putting things in there, it's being uncooperative again. Over the age of 18, in early 2022, I was contacted by my friend Nicole Cummings telling me that a friend of hers by the name of Carmen Lauber was looking for some pills and would be contacting me. So this is witness 6. This has to be witness 6 because Nicole is witness 5 and Carmen is witness 4, I think. Soon after, I received messages from Carmen Lauber asking to purchase some pills. On at least one occasion, she told me she wanted Roxy 30s, and on at least one other occasion, she said she wanted blues. I understood this to mean that she wanted 30 milligram OxyContin pills. In early 2022, I knew the term blues to mean OxyContin. I did not associate the term blues with fentanyl until late 2022. I met with Carmen Lauber on 2 occasions in February of 2022 at the Maverick and Draper and sold her OxyContin. The first time I sold her 30 pills. The second time I sold her more than 30 pills, but I can't recall how many. These were the only times I met Carmen Lauber. I did not know her before she contacted me, and I have not had I have not had contact with her since February of 2022. I began selling fentanyl at the end of 2022. In May of 23, I was arrested for possessing fentanyl and was in Davis County Jail. At that time, 2 officers from the Summit County Police Department interviewed me. I do not remember their names. I was very confused during this interview as I was detoxing from drug use and was very out of it. At first, I did not remember Carmen Lauber, but after they reminded me, I did remember that I had sold pills to her and that she was a friend of Nicole Cummings. I don't remember the details of that interview, but I have since been told that during that interview, I agreed that I had sold fentanyl to Carmen Lauber and that blues referred to fentanyl. It is my belief that I agreed I had sold Carmen Lauber fentanyl because I was personally detoxing from fentanyl during that interview and by then had been selling fentanyl, which I had come to know as blues. Y'all following this? I am currently in recovery, and although I have relapsed during my recovery, at this time I have been sober for about 3 weeks. Prior to my relapse, I had been clean for 9 months. Oh, what an awful relapse. 9 months. Oh, man, I hate that. I did not sell Carmen Lauber fentanyl in February of 2022, but sold her 30 milligram OxyContin pills. In early 2022, I was not selling fentanyl and did not have access to fentanyl. Rather, I was selling my own OxyContin prescription, which were 10 milligram pills. If a buyer wanted stronger pills, I had a source who provided 30 milligram OxyContin, which is what I sold to Carmen Lauber. Roxy's or Roxy 30s refers to 30 milligram OxyContin pills. To my knowledge, blues also referred to OxyContin until late 2022 when I came to know the term as being used for fentanyl. I did not require a source for fentanyl until the end of 2022. The fentanyl pills that I began selling at that time were very dark blue, almost purple. In April of 2025, I was interviewed by prosecutors with the Summit County Attorney's Office and told them I had sold OxyContin to Carmen Lauber and not fentanyl. And I think that is that. Oh, yes, I have. Let me get all caught up on your messages because my computer, it does this every once in a while. Oxycodone and oxycodone. I think you're saying OxyContin, not the same. And crack is whack based on your name. I'm thinking you may know something about this since that is the ever so popular phrase, quote, that Miss Whitney Houston said, crack is whack. And they don't, OxyContin, oxycodone, they don't make 30s. Oh, well, there y'all have it. So that's where we are, y'all. I think you're pretty well caught up. There were some motions and that there's one other document I'm going to look at really quickly here. I don't think it's something that we're going to be interested in going into. Yeah. This is just the charging documents. Well, I can share it with you. There are literally, let me find out how many counts there are here. 26 different charges. 26. And I can tell you it's issuing a bad check, money laundering, forgery, mortgage fraud. This is like the other case. So like a case in a case is what all of this is. Issuing a bad check. Let me see if there's anything other than communications fraud and then pattern of unlawful activity. So yes, oh Felicia, it has been quite the little whirlwind for our friend Kouri. I'm glad that we got through this. I know I've had the last live stream on this was quite long. This one has also been quite long. Thanks for hanging with me through all of it. But I feel like we're all going to be ready when this goes to trial on the 10th. Yeah, This is going to trial. So that is the 10th. If today is the 2nd. So next Tuesday, it's finally here. I can't believe it. It's finally here. Some scheduling. So I need, you all know on the 19th, that's a holiday. That's a federal holiday. So Ms. D is available that day for the live streaming world. So I may end up doing a partial day live stream, and it will either be this case that I'll live stream whatever is happening on that particular day, or if the Dale Warner case is still going, we may try to hop into that one. So I'll keep you posted on that. Wednesday, for Wine and Crime Wednesday, I need everyone to pay attention. The Chicken Coop, we're going to be visiting the House of Cab, which is Calling All Beings. And if you are new to my channel or you don't know a lot of what I cover, you are definitely going to want to tune in on Wednesday with Calling All Beings. I am going to be doing a live stream with them that is going to be basically like a smorgasbord of all of the cases that I have on my radar and the cases that are coming up as far as dates and trials that are coming up. So, it's going to be like quick synopsis. I'm assuming it's going to be like some rapid fire kind of what's next? What's next? What's next? And just kind of giving a rundown of all the different cases, because we've got some sports cases. And now today, with poor Savannah Guthrie's mother missing, I'm terrified there's going to be something else that we're going to have to cover and follow. So that is going to be Wednesday. I'll send a notification out with the link on my probably not on my YouTube channel, but it'll be on the Twix. You'll be able to get it there. I may try to put a link if it's possible in YouTube as a post for all of you, so that you can get to where we're going to be on Wednesday evening to discuss all the things all over the country that are going on. Michigan, Texas, Utah, California, Florida, because we got all kinds of stuff all over the place. And I know a lot of the folks that follow Calling All Beings are in the Massachusetts area. And I'm hoping this will kind of open some doors for them for other cases that they may be interested in following. So that is what we'll be doing for Wine and Crime Wednesday this week. On next Monday, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We'll figure something out, though. It might be all about Dale Warner. You just never know. You just never know what I'm going to do. If y'all have suggestions, certainly message me. I am always up. That's how we got on the Brad Simpson case. Oh, let's not forget, we've got Barry Morphew that still is coming this year. Sarah Grace Patrick, Courtney Clenny. We got all kinds of stuff. And we don't know what's going to happen with Antonio Brown, Sharon Moore. Who can I not think of right now? It has an arraignment coming up. Yes. Oh, Felicia, I'm looking forward to Dale Warner as well. And I think they have a hard opening statements date of the 10th also. So yikes. How are we going to do that? Watch. You know what we might end up doing? I may end up trying to do a trial replay again on one of those trials. I don't know. We'll try to figure something out. Because it looks like probably Kouri Richins and Dale Warner are going to go at the same time. Yeah. And how dare they? Why schedule like this? Come on. So with all of that, I'm happy I had a couple days last week. I got the wig trimmed up, got my nails done. Hallelujah. Oh, I don't know if you can see. It's not very good. Let me try. I have a little heart in the middle of my nail. Yeah. Can't see it very well. If I back it up, maybe you can see it better. Oh, maybe you can see better when I do that. See, there's a little heart in my nail. There it is. So, had that done. Got my toes done too. I was all fancy schmancy. I'm happy as a clam. Thank you so much for everyone coming and hanging out with me tonight. Thank you, Kelly, for holding down the fort, keeping the chicken coop with all the chickadees in it under control. And thank you all. If you're watching on Replay Crew, so appreciate you coming on here and watching what we covered this evening. Everyone else, if you haven't liked, subscribed, become a member, checked out my merchandise, you can get Make Good Choices merchandise. It's not all misdemeanor merchandise. There are Make Good Choices and just me and my kinky vodka. So, yeah. Thanks everybody for hanging out this evening. We got through Kouri. We're ready for her trial now. And you're welcome, Jennifer, to you and KS Granny. And you all know it doesn't cost a penny to be kind. So find someone to do something nice for today if you haven't already. And as always,